Being a fan of Ice Luna, I knew I had to get the Austringer, especially with the new enhanced traits that could roll on the weapon. Unfortunately, it did take me a whole lot longer to craft Austringer, seeing as how RNG decided to give me literally every other opulent weapon first. As promised, I will test out the rolls mentioned by Shady in the comments, and I'll try a few other rolls that I felt were at least worth a try. As mentioned in my beloved video, there will be some perks that will be kept constant, such as the range masterwork, or intrinsic, hammerforged rifling, and ricochet rounds. Also, I had Icarus on, cause why not? With all that said and done, here are the timestamps for each of the rolls in the video. Additionally, there will be the timestamps for the PvE section that I had previously missed out, as well as the verdict and conclusion. Snapshot Rangefinder. This is a reliable and easy to use combination. Snapshot really lets you peek quickly, with the Austringer making it feel almost like Hawkmoon. And because this was the very first perk combination I used, I struggled a bit. Not because it was bad, but because I used it too similarly to how I used Hawkmoon, which was to peek and shoot in order to build paracausal charges. After a while, I did get used to it, and as I mentioned at the start, it was rather reliable and consistent, occasionally startling me with the fast ADS speeds though. Snapshot Opening Shot. Now for this role, I know from how the perk combination sounds that many of you will be saying that this ain't a sniper, what are you doing, man? Well, I just felt the need to cover all bases. And Opening Shot does feel really good being able to consistently land the first shot off. However, after that, it's largely similar to the role above, with the most notable exception being the damage fall off. In the end, this role gave me a somewhat more consistent feel at shorter ranges, and engagements beyond, I believe to be 31 meters, made me suffer from damage fall off. But other than that, this role was still as promising. Eye of the Storm Rangefinder. This is easily the best role for the hand cannon, well, for obvious reasons, because Rangefinder allows you to engage in range dueling up to, I believe, 34 meters. And I'll let the gunplay do the talking here. But mainly in terms of dueling, you can duel at range, and Eye of the Storm helps you as you take damage. Oddly enough, I didn't feel as much of an accuracy penalty as I thought I would have when using this role. I guess Eye of the Storm proccing does somewhat help alleviate this penalty. Oh, and for those unaware, having Rangefinder does increase your zoom magnification. However, it does impact your accuracy, causing you to have to be more accurate with your shots. To me, overall this role is the most consistent at range dueling out of all the other perk combinations. And frankly, it really goes without saying. I feel that for most of the time when I'm challenging people at range, if they did not have this perk combination or their hand cannons had not nearly as much range as I do, I felt myself winning those duels. Especially since Eye of the Storm did back me up during that range duel. And I think really the gunplay kind of speaks for itself now, doesn't it? Eye of the Storm Opening Shot. Well, for this combination, I can win gunfights after both sides take damage. Though I'd feel it suffers from the same range penalty the Snapshot Rangefinder combination felt. And while it does feel less snappy, it isn't really that much of an issue, because I feel the larger issue is the penalty to range, since you can't nearly shoot and duel as far. I would say that this role definitely has a stronger neutral / late game play when dueling, but a worse opening play than Snapshot Opening Shot. However, that is what you want when playing into Eye of the Storm. But I will say this though, if you rely too heavily into being damaged for your engagements, you may wanna think twice before engaging multiple enemies, since you do not have as much sustained range as the previous role of Eye of the Storm Rangefinder. You would have to close the distance on your own to ensure you get the kill successfully. And if you're weak enough, well, it might be a bad idea to do so. Otherwise, this is a much more consistent role than Snapshot Opening Shot. Eye of the Storm and Zen Moment. As a console player, I love this role. While I've mentioned that Eye of the Storm Rangefinder was easily the most consistent role when dueling at range, as a console player, and I think some clips speak for themselves, this role is definitely consistent as well, but more specifically when dueling at shorter ranges, those under 31 meters. For shorter ranges, I definitely will consider using this role, but since this is a review and we are talking about which role is best, I feel that this role just barely falls short of the Eye of the Storm Rangefinder role, because it cannot challenge at range. Looking back at this role, frankly, I think this video took a lot longer, mainly because of this, and I'll get into why in a second. Air Assault Rangefinder or Air Assault Opening Shot, and I'm lumping this together for a reason. Personally, I don't like Air Assault, never liked it before, and I certainly don't like it now. Mainly because the benefits granted by Air Assault, after accounting for the requirements to proc it, are just not worth it. I could be biased because I don't try to get headshots in the air. Usually when I'm in the air, I just go for body shots. But frankly, why would you choose Air Assault to engage, or rather try to engage, if your health is low? Would you take the risk to jump and duel other players? Sure, if it's a hand cannon, maybe. I know I would, at least. But pulse rifles, SMGs and bows? Yeah, I don't think so. To me at least, the book should maybe give half the benefit by default, and the full benefit when your shields break, low health. That way you can at least have some air dueling capabilities with all the new changes to airborne effectiveness. By the way, check out Astacross's video, as it covers it in really good detail. Because, if I'm being honest, I don't feel the increase in airborne accuracy as my health gets lower. It feels like I'm running from a disaster waiting to happen, and I feel like I was burdening my teammates when I used this role. Overall, since Air Assault was already underwhelming as is, I don't think it's worth the book's lot. But before I go on to the verdict and conclusion, I would like to mention a small section on PvE, for those who are interested in it. Personally, I would use Outlaw Rampage with a Rampage spec to keep the Rampage buff for a longer duration, so that you can focus on ad clear. Alternatively, you can use Triple Tap and Frenzy, as it is also good and you can sustain yourself in combat, with Triple Tap refunding 1 bullet every time you get 3 precision hits. Also, don't be afraid to mix around these two perk combinations and try what you love. You don't necessarily have to stick to what I really mentioned. But personally, let's face it, Fate Ring is king for PvE in terms of this. It's also good for PvP, don't get me wrong, but yeah, nothing beats Explosive Round Firefly. As for the verdict, Air Assault Rangefinder or Opening Shot comes dead last, followed by Snapshot Opening Shot, Snapshot Rangefinder, and I feel that Eye of the Storm Zen Moment is definitely tied with Eye of the Storm Opening Shot in terms of consistency, because after the first shot of Opening Shot is well expended, I feel that you would definitely have to duel at well the same range under 31 meters, and Zen Moment helps as you do damage, while Opening Shot helps at the start, so it depends on your playstyle for that. And of course, while with that small talk aside, the overall winner in my opinion will have to be Eye of the Storm Rangefinder, with its excellent consistency at range dueling. In my opinion, Snapshot isn't really necessary for the added snappiness when ADSing, and while it does give you the added stability which is important for flinch resistance, Eye of the Storm also gives a +5 in stability, making it the better alternative during mid gunfight. For my fellow console players, I cannot recommend enough for you to try Eye of the Storm Zen Moment, as you really feel the added stability and accuracy shine through for basically every gun engagement. And that combination may better suit your own playstyle. But as I've mentioned earlier, my winner here caters to both console and M&K players when I say that Eye of the Storm and Rangefinder is the most reliable at engaging at range. Personally, I would like to thank you all for watching this. And honestly, I would like to thank you even more by outstretching to my previous video, which is the one where I review Beloved. It still baffles me how my video that I made personally reviewing some of the good enhanced PvP perks managed to capture such a wide audience who actually wanted to view and see my thoughts on the weapon. I really cannot express how much I appreciate that. And personally, I was actually trying to hold in my expression as I'm talking about it here. I'm just so ever grateful for you guys for watching that video, and I'll probably make a separate video for this to just show my, well, appreciation for everything. It really means a lot to me, and I really cannot express enough how much I am grateful for you guys for while watching the video I made. In the coming video, I'll probably review something else, because I actually had no idea I crafted this, and that is the Firefront auto rifle. Because I tested it once in Rift, and with high caliber rounds, I found that basically it was the king of stunning people and causing them to flinch, like massively. When I was using it at mid-range, other hand cannons could not fight back effectively. It's like I was endlessly stunning them. And to me, I think that deserves a video of its own, and I'll review it on a later date. But as always, I thank you guys for watching. It really means a lot to me. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next one.